Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head over the Øresund once again back to Copenhagen, and we're going to have a taste of another beer from a brewery who are very well known these days. So for this one we are going back to Mikkeller and we're having a taste of the Göran Imperial Stout. So this one is an oatmeal stout brewed with coffee and vanilla, coming in at 12% ABV. This one was released of course through the small partiers in Systembolaget here in Sweden on, I believe, the 7th of December 2018. So really looking forward to this. I've heard that it's a bit of a monster, so as always I hope you guys enjoy my take on this one. I do have another Mikkeller beer to review for you from the same small partier lot, so you will see that in a few videos time, and you will see some Swedish winter beers posting in the evenings over the next little while as well, so I hope you enjoy those reviews as well. But yeah, looking forward to trying this beer as always, and I hope you guys enjoy my take on it too. So anyway, as is usual with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that I've done from Mikkeller before. This must be review number 20 odd, maybe even 30 odd, something like that. I've reviewed a lot of Mikkeller beers for you over the last while. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel of course has a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Danish beers that I've reviewed for you. That's constantly being added to, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Mikkeller then. So as I've told you many a time, Mikkeller are the famous Danish gypsy brewery. They were founded by Christian Keller and Mikkel Bjergso, although they're now run exclusively by Bjergso, who used to be a physics and maths teacher. Christian Keller, I believe, went on to be, I don't know if he was an editor, but he went to work for one of the music magazines in Copenhagen. But again, these guys are very influenced by the American craft beer movement, and they basically started out as the homebrewing experimentations of Christian and Mikkel and grew from there. For a long time they didn't have their own brewery, but rather they brewed at a variety of host breweries in America, Norway, Scotland, and mainly in Belgium actually. Most of their beer was brewed at the De Proefbrouwer in Locrista Hefte next to Ghent in Belgium, but their home base as such for a long time as well was the Mikkeller bar in Copenhagen, and they've also got another couple of bars that are collaborations with Toil, who the owners of whom are actually former students of Mikkel's when he was teaching physics and maths. But in April of 2016 these guys took over AleSmith's former brewery in San Diego after they moved to a larger space, and in 2017 they said that they would establish a second brewery at City Field, which is home of the New York Mets in New York City, and they now also have a location in Copenhagen which is called Baghaven, where they experiment with sour beers. They also have War Pigs in Copenhagen as well, which is a collaboration brewery restaurant sort of thing with Three Floyds from Munster over in Indiana in America. That's somewhere that you really do need to go and check out if you find yourself in Copenhagen. Copenhagen for me is probably the best craft beer city in the world these days. There's some really awesome things going on, but Gothenburg is getting pretty good these days too. But they've also got various bars around the world now. They've got various locations in Copenhagen. Warpigs is one. They've got Ramen Tobiru. They've got Ull Broad there as well, which is meant to be really good. I've never been into that one. I do need to check that out. But they've got bars in Barcelona, Berlin, Warsaw, Bucharest. I think that they've got one up in Stockholm that I've been to. There's one in Tórshavn in the Faroe Islands, one in Reykjavik, Tokyo, Seoul, Taipei, Singapore. They are starting to pick up in Asia as well. There's a lot of them in Bangkok too, and also one over in San Diego in America, like I was saying, with their new brewery, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, very interesting brewery. This one, probably one of the it's fair to say that these guys are one of the pioneers of Danish craft beer, but they do some awesome stuff, and if you haven't tried some of their beers already, I do highly recommend that you check them out. But yeah, that's all you really need to know about the brewery just now. If you want to learn a little bit more, you can check them out on Facebook. You can follow them on Instagram, and that'll keep you up to date with all the latest goings on there. But yeah, let's get on to the tasting of this beer itself then. We can get rid of the brewery notes for the moment. But yeah, as I said to you, this one is a 12% Imperial Stout. This one's actually brewed at the Lervigakte Brewery in Stavanger up in Norway, and it's imported to Sweden by Brill and Company, which is kind of cool. But yeah, they've added coffee and vanilla to this one. It says oatmeal stout brewed with coffee and vanilla. There you can see on the back. I always like the Mikkeller artworks, very, very distinctive of course. But yeah, this is one that I believe, I'm guessing this is one that's been brewed exclusively for the Swedish market. Either that or it's been released elsewhere, and it's, you know, they've just done a sort of special lot for Systembolaget. There tends to be the case with Systembolaget that they have to, you know, if a company is going to sell a beer, they have to have it prepared a year in advance and let Systembolaget do tastings and things like that. Just sounds like an excuse for the guys that work for Systembolaget to get drunk for me. But yeah, should be a really nice beer, this one. I've not had a bad beer from Mikkeller before. Probably my favourite Imperial Stout that I've had from these guys, I believe it was called Black Hole. It was one of the very, very early ones that they did, and I really, really loved that beer. So let's get this guy out then, and we will get on with the tasting. Just look how dark this beer is. This looks ridiculous. You can tell already that this one is going to be an absolute monster. But you know, RampantLionReviews, they're good as well. I need to try and review some more of their beers. But look at this, I can smell some of these lovely big chocolate and oatmeal notes coming out of this already. But as you can see from pouring this beer, this one's a lovely big dark ebony colour. If I hold it up to the light, there is absolutely nothing coming through that. It's not even got like a little chestnut edge to it or something. This one is pitch black ebony. Solid finger of a frothy, dark, very dark tan head on this one. One or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, and a few little ones just heading up towards the bottom of that head there. But you know, overall it does look very, very nice, and you know, not unsurprising for an Imperial Stout. But I have to say, this is definitely one of the darker looking Imperial Stouts that I've come across in recent times. But yeah, lovely looking beer. So let's take a closer look at the aroma then and just see how we get on with this one. Ooh, I'll tell you straight away, this smells absolutely beautiful. Yeah, straight away you can smell that this beer, it's really bready in the malt base. You can really smell that oatmeal quality coming out of it. I've not reviewed too many oatmeal stouts on the channel for you. It's mainly been, you know, like coffee stouts, sweet stouts and things like that. Oatmeal stouts is not something I'm overly well versed in. But whenever I've had an oatmeal stout, I have absolutely loved it. But you can definitely smell the oatmeal coming out of this one. State the obvious, of course, but yeah, it smells like it's got a big, almost brown bready base. It's almost a little bit like a, you know, like a sort of German, almost rye breadish quality to this one. It doesn't quite have the spice of rye, but a big sort of oaty German brewery bread sort of thing like that. The Germans, as I've said many times, I absolutely love German bread. Whenever I go there, I always just go and, you know, destroy my stomach in the bakery. I absolutely love just going and munching on all the German bread. But this, it really reminds me of that. The vanilla's coming out really nicely as well. The bread and the vanilla really combine together to make a very, very unique aroma, in my opinion. And you can definitely smell that the coffee's in there, but you have to take it in a little bit more deeply to get that out of it. You can definitely smell a little bit of that coffee bean smoothness. And I would say, as I've told you before, I don't actually drink coffee. If you know, I was never ever used to it. If I drank it now, it'd be on the roof. But yeah, the coffee in this one, you can tell that the coffee beans that they've used in this have a little bit of an aromaticity to them, but at the same time, they do have a little bit of an earthy kind of smoothness as well. So that really makes the aroma of this beer very, very interesting. But overall, this one to me, the aroma's leaning towards that of a kind of sweet stout rather than anything else, but the coffee has given it a really interesting dimension with that sort of floral aromaticity, but also the kind of coffee-ish smoothness as well. This is a lovely, lovely smelling beer, this one, so just take some time and enjoy the aroma of this before you get stuck into it. There's a little bit of red fruit coming out of this one. For me, it's quite figgy actually, and it does have an element of a kind of candied fruit as well, which is cool. But yeah, I really like what's going on with this aroma. There's a little touch of an earthy hop in there, but like I say, this beer really does it really does kind of remind me of how do you say, it really does remind me of a, what do you call it, it really does just remind me of a nice big sweet Imperial Stout, this one. But I think this is going to be an absolute monster of a beer, so let's not leave it anymore. Let's have a taste of this one then. So this one is the Göran, an Imperial Stout from Mikkeller over in Copenhagen in Denmark, brewed at the Lervegaktige Brewery up in Stavanger in Norway. Let's get stuck in. Slange, skål. Ooh. Yeah, I'll say straight away, that is a good beer. It starts off very, very sweet, and then it's almost just like your palate dries out and you start to get more of the kind of roasty coffee aspects of this beer just pushing their way out. This is really, really nicely done. Big thumbs up to Mikkeller on this one. I always enjoy, you know, coffee stouts. I guess this one's a little bit of both. I guess this has got an element of, you know, it's got the oatmeal stout, it's got the coffee stout, and it's also got a bit of a sweet stout in there from the vanilla. To me, flavour profile wise from the first sip, this is leaning towards a more roasty toasty side of the spectrum. But yeah, that's a really, really nice beer. I just like, this is definitely one of these ones where it's all about how the flavours kind of combine together, so just be aware of that with this beer. So yeah, middle of your palate, you can feel that's just blanketed with this nice roast, with this nice kind of brown bready quality. That just goes there, but that's kind of soon suppressed by the sort of roasty coffee elements. This one, there's definitely an element of black malt in there. It does have that kind of almost charred-ish quality to it, which is it comes from the roasted black malts. But yeah, I do like that about this beer. There's a nice smooth, the coffee beans are giving it a really nice smoothness as well, but as I was picking up in the aroma, I think there's a little bit of an aromaticity to the coffee beans that they're using in this one, but at the same time it leans a little bit more towards the earthiness. It's a really interesting combination of flavours that the coffee beans are making. But yeah, the way the oatiness is coming out in this beer too is very nice. It's got the oatmeal, I should say, rather, it really gives the beer just that lovely smooth bready quality. And as I say, it's almost like a German brown bread, if you like. It really comes out very, very nicely, and the roasty coffee malts are just sitting there too. In the centre of the palate, of course, you're getting an element of chocolate in there, and for me, it's quite a high cocoa chocolate that's coming to this one, you know, the 80–90% sort of cocoa chocolate, and it comes out very nicely with the, it sort of combines very nicely with the kind of roughness of the coffee, not the roughness, the sort of darkness and bitterness of the coffee. I think that's another thing that's very, very nicely done about this beer as well. Yeah. Just say this is really nice. It's got a good level of complexity that definitely keeps you interested. On the back corners of the palate, there's a good little bit of roasty, earthy bitterness there. As you come further forward, it just smooths out. Nice little bit of there is a little tiny touch of a floral note to this one on the front corners of the palate, and round the very front curve of the tongue, you can still detect a little bit of grassiness in there. I don't know if it says when it was canned, but it says best before the 24th of the 10, 28. Like, so normally these beers are given 10 years of they're giving a 10-year aging period. So I'm guessing this one was canned back at the end of October, so it's about 2 months old. So if you did, you could age this one, you know, pretty much as long as you wanted to. I'm sure if you age this one a little bit, that sort of hoppiness that I'm talking about would just smooth out a little bit. So maybe this is one that could benefit from aging a little bit, but I was just very, very curious to try this beer. I always buy these big Imperial stouts, and I'm like, oh, I should keep some of these for a little while, but at the same time I'm like, I really just, you know, I want to try them. I like trying beer. That's what it's all about for me. But yeah, it would definitely smooth out really nicely. For me, there's a little element of brown sugar in the centre of the palate as well, like a sort of slightly sweeter caramel, not toasted or anything like that, just a slightly sweeter caramel element to this beer, which, you know, again comes across very, very nicely. But I like how I like how everything goes together in the malt base of this beer. It is really nice. Behind the front curve of the palate, of course, that's where you get that nice oily bubble where those juicy fruity esters start to come out of the beer. And for me, yeah, for me, this one, it has a little bit of a kind of raisiny sharpness in the beginning, and then it just smooths out a little bit, and you start to get more of a kind of slightly juicier, figgy quality to this beer. It's not really got a kind of candied fruit ester to it for this one. For me, it's very much kind of straight up, a little bit of raisin sharpness, but then a kind of juicy, a little bit of a juicy, figgy sort of thing in the aftertaste too. But, you know, overall, Very, very nice, very nice beer this, and I like how all these flavours go together. In terms of the mouthfeel, I think full-bodied beer, this, not much doubt in my mind. Yeah, not much doubt in my mind on this one. Nice, nice big full-bodied beer. Carbonation's very, very smooth. The mouthfeel overall is quite an oily one in the Imperial Stout category for me. Nice little bit of hoppy bitterness to this, a good bit of bitterness from the malt base as well, but also kind of counteracted by a little bit of smoothness from the oatmeal and kind of bready notes in this one, but also a little bit from the chocolatey caramel thing too. But mainly this, to me, this one leans towards the roasty toasty side of things in terms of an Imperial Stout, particularly in the aftertaste. In the aftertaste, it's that nice coffee bean quality that's kind of sitting there with this one. So if you drink this beer, it will wake you up a little bit, just be aware of that. But yeah, I would guess it's somewhere around 50 IBUs for this beer, maybe pushing the 60 actually. But yeah, nice combination of flavours in there, good little bit of juicy fruit, and as I say, a little touch of bitterness from the hops as well. So yeah, I like how this one kind of goes together. So yeah, just have a go at this beer for yourself and see what you think, but it is pretty damn nice. It's got a little element of the oatmeal stouts, the sweet stouts, and also the coffee stouts as well. It's all about how these flavours combine together. So a big thumbs up to Mikkeller for this one. They've done another very, very good beer here. But yeah, let's leave it at that for this one. Just if you get the chance to try this beer, I highly recommend that you have a go at it, and I'm glad now that I'm able to review this one for you on the channel. But yeah, once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Pardon me. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Mikkeller as well, and I will catch you soon with more reviews from these guys. They've always got some interesting things coming out. But until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Make sure you have a go at this one, the Urine from Mikkeller, if you get the chance. So until the next time, it's Slanja just now, and I will catch you guys very soon. Lovely, lovely stout beer this, and thank you again for watching. Slanja, skål.